the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help you God. Charles Joseph.
Thank you. Good morning. Charlie, can you tell the jury how old you are?
I'm 19 years old.
And do you go to school?
At Connecticut State University.
And what are you studying?
Construction management.
And are you working for the summer?
Yes.
What are you doing?
I'm an intern for a construction company.
Now, have we met before today?
Yes, we have.
How many times did we meet?
Twice.
And why did we meet?
Discuss this.
And back on May 14th of 2022, how old were you?
16 years old.
And did you go to school?
Yes.
Where did you go to school?
Shawn High School.
And what year were you?
I was a junior.
And did you play any sports?
Yes.
What did you play?
I played baseball.
And are you familiar with an individual by the name of Ryan Hines?
Yes.
How are you familiar with him?
It's a friend. He was my baseball teammate.
Are you familiar with an individual by the name of Griffin Marcinzik?
Yes.
How are you familiar with Griffin Marcinzik?
A childhood friend and still one of my best friends today.
I want to direct your attention to later on in the night on May 14th of 2022. Did you attend a party anywhere that night?
Yes.
And what party did you attend?
Party at 43 Laurel Glen Drive.
And who lives there?
Tyler Rich.
And State's Exhibit 5, do you know whose house that is?
Tyler Rich's house.
Now, what time of day would you say you got to Tyler Rich's house?
9:30 to 10.
And was it what was the lighting out like?
Outside.
Was it dark out where you couldn't see in front of you, pitch black? What was it like?
I was able to see in front of me, but I wasn't pitch black out.
Now, when you got to Tyler Rich's house on that night, how many people were at Tyler Rich's house? Do you recall?
Around 30 people.
And what kinds of things were going on at Tyler Rich's house?
Drinking, social gathering, just hanging out with friends.
When you say drinking, what kind of things were people drinking?
Beer.
And how did you get to Tyler Rich's house?
I drove.
And when you got to Tyler Rich's house initially, did you have anything to drink at that point?
No.
Why not?
Because I was driving.
How long would you say you were at Tyler Rich's house for initially in the beginning?
Probably half an hour to 45 minutes.
And after about half hour to 45 minutes, did you have an occasion to leave Tyler Rich's house?
Yes.
Why did you leave?
I received a call from a friend, Ryan Hines, that he has just gone to a fight and kicked out of a party and wanted to see if I could pick him up.
And did you, in fact, go pick him up?
Yes.
Where did you go?
To this girl named Natalia's house. I don't know her address. It's in Shelton.
How'd you get there?
I drove.
Okay, did you put a GPS on and kind of follow Waze or something?
Yeah.
So when you got to Natalia's house, did you pick Ryan up?
Yes, I picked up Ryan and Griffin Marcinzik.
And when you picked up Ryan and Griffin, did you leave Natalia's house immediately?
Yes.
When you picked them up, was it just the two of them?
Yes.
Did Ryan have anything with him?
I don't recall.
You don't recall? Do you recall whether or not, did you see either Griffin or Ryan drinking that night?
Yes, they were drinking.
Were they drinking before or after they got to Tyler Rich's house?
Let's say before.
At some point in time, you brought him back to Tyler Rich's house?
Yes.
On the way over to Tyler Rich's house, did you talk to Griffin and Ryan about what had happened earlier on in the night?
Yes.
And did they inform you about what had happened?
Yes.
And at some point in time, you got back to Tyler Rich's house. Were you aware of a group chat that was going on at all?
No, I was not.
And when you got back to Tyler Rich's house, how did you guys go in the house? Do you recall?
Through the basement doors.
Where are the basement doors located?
On the right side of his house.
And when you got back down there, what happened when you got back down to the basement?
Same stuff that was going on before. Talking, people asking questions to Ryan and Griffin at what happened to you guys.
Now, are you familiar with Faison Teal?
Yes.
How are you familiar with Faison?
A classmate, grade above me. Just known him for, we played football together.
Showing you States 54. Who is this individual?
That's Faison Teal.
Was he at Tyler Rich's house that night?
Yes.
Did you have occasion to talk to him that night?
Yeah.
States 55. Can you tell us who this is?
That's my brother.
And was he at Tyler's house that night?
Yes.
And States 57. Do you know who this is?
That's Jimmy McGrath.
And how do you know Jimmy?
Football, basketball teammate growing up. Childhood friend. Out them every
And
weekend.
was he at Tyler Rich's house that night?
Yes, he was.
Did you have an occasion to talk to Jimmy throughout the night that night?
Yes, we had a conversation.
When you got back to Tyler Rich's house, did you drink anything?
After picking up Griffin and Hines?
Yes.
Yes.
What did you drink?
I had 2 Bud Lights.
And what time would you say you got back to Tyler Rich's house at that point? When you got back initially?
Around 11, maybe earlier.
And at some point in time when you were back at Tyler Rich's house, did you become aware of any type of group chat that was going on at that point?
No.
Did you become aware at some point that a car had arrived in front of Tyler Rich's house?
Yes.
How did you become aware of that?
I've heard that the kids that just fought Ryan and Griffin were outside. So I went outside to go talk to them.
Now, prior to the car showing up, how long would you say you were back at Tyler Rich's house for? What was that?
Half an hour, maybe a little bit more.
And when you went outside, do you recall how you went outside?
Yes.
How did you go outside?
I went to the basement doors, so around the front yard, and the car was across the street of the front yard, and I went over and talked to the person in the passenger seat.
So States 49, can you indicate on States 49 where you saw the car pull up initially?
Like the beginning of the road on the right side, going down the road, facing down the road, right there.
Right here? So facing this way or facing this way?
Facing That.
Facing up?
Yeah.
Okay, so the record can reflect the witnesses identified the area just north of the intersection of Adams and Laurel Glen, just to the left of where it appears to be a group of trees on the property across from 43 Laurel Glen.
So noted.
And you walked over to the car?
Yes.
Do you recall who you walked over to the car with? Was there anybody with you?
I don't recall.
Was there people with you though when you walked over?
Yes.
How many people would you say were with you at the time?
8 to 10.
And when you walked over, you spoke to somebody in the car?
Yes.
What side of the car did you speak to them?
Passenger side.
Passenger, so the right side of the car, if the car's looking that way?
Yes.
Okay, front passenger or rear passenger?
Front.
And who did you speak to in the front passenger?
Tyler De Silva.
And what kinds of things were you telling him?
I asked him what he did, and I was with him the week before, and I told him that, like, I like you, like, I think you're a good kid. I know your cousins. I grew up with them. And I said, just leave. Like, they're just don't want any problems. Just leave.
And how do you know Tyler De Silva?
I know his cousins from growing up playing baseball. And a week prior to that, I was with Tyler De Silva and his friends.
Okay. Did you notice anybody else in the car at this point in time?
Yes.
Who else did you notice?
Jack Snyder.
And where was Jack Snyder?
Driving.
How do you know Jack Snyder?
I was also with him the week before that.
Did you notice anybody else in the car at this point?
Yes, but I couldn't recognize faces. It was,
Okay, so you knew there were other people in the car, but you didn't know who it was?
I knew who it was.
Who else did you recognize?
Raul Valle.
Okay, and how do you know Raul?
A St. Joe student was also with him a week before that.
And is Raul Valle present in the courtroom today?
Yes.
And what is he wearing?
A black suit and black tie.
Can you please point him out for the record? And the record reflect, Your Honor, the witness identified the defendant in this case.
Court will reflect on the record that the witness has identified Mr. Valle.
Now, do you know Ricky Fiola?
Yes.
Do you know Sal Perry?
Yes.
Do you know Mike Sampieri?
Yes.
Do you know Alex Bernston?
Yes.
Do you know Jake Villalobos?
Yes.
Do you know Matthew Lakovich?
Yes.
How do you know those individuals?
All friends growing up.
And were they present at the
Yes.
house that night? So now you said you were talking to Tyler De Silva, initially in front of the 43 Laurel Glen. Did you notice, was the defendant saying anything or doing anything at this point?
I did not notice.
How long would you say your conversation lasted for with Tyler De Silva at that car?
Not even 30 seconds.
Do you recall what kind of car it was, by the way?
Dark SUV.
And so it was, you said 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Was the conversation with Tyler De Silva, was it cordial? Was it peaceful?
It was peaceful.
At some point in time, did the interaction between either you and Mr. De Silva or anybody else around you in the car become not peaceful?
Not that I'm aware of.
What happened after that period of time speaking with Mr. De Silva?
I walked away and I went towards the front lawn where all the rest of the party was there, just watching, just was talking with them.
So you had a conversation with Mr. De Silva in the street area for about 30 seconds and then you walked away?
Yes.
Where did you walk to? Can you tell us on State 49?
In the driveway, a little bit to the left, like by like the lawn and like near the white car, kind of.
Like probably this area here?
A little more up though, or like down, like on the lawn.
Down here?
Yes.
Okay. So if the record can reflect witnesses identifying in States 49 the front right passenger side wheel of this white pickup truck on the grass. So when you were in that area, were you able to observe things that were going on at the car at that point, or what were you doing when you went back to that area?
I wasn't really paying attention to the car, but I was just talking with friends, like just, I don't recall what we were talking about, but just talking with them.
Now, how many people were in your area at that point in time? Do you remember?
20.
20. Okay. So there were about 10 kids or so at the car, and then 20 like back at near your area. At some point in time, did you have an occasion to see the car leave for any reason?
Yes.
Do you know why the car left?
No.
Do you recall hearing or seeing any type of altercation that happened at the car?
When the car was not moving?
Right.
No.
So when the car left, which way did it go? Did it go up in States 49 or did it go back towards Adams?
It went up.
Okay. And when it went up, tell us what you observed about what the car did.
When it went up, since there was people around the car, it sped off very, very fast and kids got out the way. And then it turned around and came back through and stuff was thrown out. And then people picked up their stuff that was with our friends and we threw stuff back while I was going back and forth speeding the car.
Were you involved in that at all?
No, I was not.
So did you stay in the area on the grass area where you just described in States 49 when this was happening?
Yes.
How many times would you say the car drove up and down the street?
3 to 4.
And at some point in time, did it stop?
Yes.
And when it stopped, what did you do?
Stopped at the end of the road, north all the way down, at the intersection of Laurel Glen and Farmhouse Lane.
So in this area here, what did you observe about it at that point? Did you observe the car just stopped, or tell us what you saw?
I noticed that 2 individuals got out of the car. So me and a couple of my friends went down there to talk to them.
And when you say a couple of your friends, you recall who you were with?
Yes.
Who were you with?
Ty Wood, Matt Lockovich, Ricky Field, Tyler Rich. That's about it.
So you went down the street. When you went down the street, did you go in a big mob? How did you make your way down the street?
A couple kids were farther up than me. We kind of went individual or like in as twos, not as in a group.
Who were you closer to? You.
Ty Wood,
And who was further down the street? Do you know who was further down the street?
Tyler Rich, and Ricky Field.
Okay. And when you got down, how far did you get down the street, would you say, that night?
So where they were in the intersection?
And did you witness any interactions with anybody?
Yes.
What did you witness about any interactions at them?
I witnessed that Ricky Field was talking to Raul Valle, and me, Matt Lockovich, and Ty were talking to Tyler De Silva.
And what were you guys talking about with him? What did you say to him? Did you say anything to him at that point?
Told him to leave. Said bye to the car, leave.
And did you, Ty Wood, or anybody else that you were with engage in any fighting behavior down Laurel at that point in time?
No.
Did you witness Ricky Fiola and the defendant speaking to each other?
Yes, I did.
Did you hear what the defendant was saying at any point during that interaction?
No, I did not.
How long would you say the interaction was between you and Mr. De Silva down the street when you told him to leave?
10 seconds.
And after you told him to leave, what did you do?
Turned around and walked back.
Walk back to Mr. Rich's house? And how long would you say, did you observe the entire interaction between Mr. Fiola and the defendant?
Most of it, yeah.
Okay. Were they still talking when you turned around and walked back to Tyler Rich's house?
Yes.
Okay. Now, at some point in time, did you make it all the way back to Tyler Rich's house?
Yes.
Did you walk back by yourself?
No.
Tell me about how you made it from where Tyler Rich was to back to 43 Laurel Glen.
I walked back with Ty Wood and Matt Locke, and the rest jogged up and caught up to us, and then we walked back together.
Who caught up with you and walked back with you at that point in time? Do you recall?
Ricky Fiola, Tyler Rich, Matt Locke, Ty Wood.
And did you guys discuss what had happened down the street?
Yes.
And in particular, did you have a conversation with Ricky Fiola?
Yes, I did.
And after that conversation happened, did you guys all make your way back into Mr. Rich's basement?
Yes.
And how long would you say you were back in the basement for?
30 seconds.
And at some point in time, did you exit the basement after 30 seconds?
Yes.
Why did you exit the basement?
I was told that they're back.
And when you were told that they were back, how did you get out of the basement? Same way you went in?
Same way I went in.
When you came out of the basement, where did you go? Do you recall where you went?
Yes.
Stage 4. Can you see in stage 4 where you went?
Yes, I was hanging out by the basement doors and slowly creeping up, but I kept my distance from what was going on.
What was going on when you came outside?
It was like I saw people like lined up face to face, like talking to each other.
Show you stage 6. Can you show me in stage 6 where you saw people lined up?
Towards the left, between like the bush and the truck.
So somewhere in this area here.
Yes.
And who was in that area at the time when you came outside?
I saw Ty Wood, Ryan Hines, Tyler Rich, Tyler De Silva, Raul Valle.
And what were you observing about all of them?
They were just face to face talking.
Who was face to face talking to Tyler De Silva? Do you recall?
Tyler Rich.
And who was anybody talking to the defendant? And who was talking to the defendant?
Ryan Hines and Ty Wood.
And you recall, can you tell us on this exhibit here, stage 6, where was Tyler De Silva standing as opposed to where was the defendant standing? Can you show us in this exhibit?
Tyler De Silva was more to the left side, and Raul was to the right. They were next to each other, but Raul was on the right and Tyler was on the left.
Raul was probably closer to this red bush here.
Yes, and Tyler was closer to the truck. They were right next to each other.
And when they were talking, describe what the conversation was like when they were face to face.
I wasn't close enough to hear.
So you just heard, well, did you hear, were they just talking or was it loud?
It seemed more not peaceful as the other conversations were. It seemed like something was stirring up, that they're getting louder and louder, but I didn't know what they were talking about.
So were you still back by the Bilko doors?
Yes.
Witnessing this from back where this state 6, see there's like this AC unit back here, back over here.
Yes.
But could you, from your vantage point, could you see what was going on? How could you see what was going on over here?
From the clear view.
Were there lights?
Yes, there was a garage light shined right at them.
Did anybody else have their phones out? Was there lights on at this point?
No, not that I'm aware of.
But from that vantage, how far do you think it is from this area where the AC unit is next to the Bilko door to where this area is here?
About 20 feet.
20 feet. So you could see what's going on. You could hear what's going on. Could you make out the exact words that people were saying? I mean,
At the time, maybe, but I don't recall it there.
okay, that's fine. How long would you say the conversation lasted for between the parties?
That conversation right there,
Yeah.
10 to 15 seconds.
And after 10 to 15 seconds, what, if anything, did you observe?
I observed Raul making a movement and Tyler coming across and punching him in the face.
Did you, now when this was going on, when you were observing and listening to what was going on, were you making your way closer to?
Yes.
Okay. And so at some point in time, prior to the punch that you saw, how close were you in this? Can you tell us?
A little bit farther from me to you right now.
Okay, so probably about 10 feet.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, you saw the defendant make a move.
Yes.
What was the move like? Can you describe what it was like? Can you show us?
Kind of like something like that, but like something like this with no contact. Like just went like this.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was trying to do, but Tyler Rich just came across and punched him in the face.
And when Tyler Rich came across and punched him in the face, what happened after that?
But two fights kind of broke out separate ways, and I just watched my brother run over to the fight that was going towards the left side, which I saw Ryan Hines and Faison Teal over there with Raul Valle fighting him. I saw my brother running over there, so then I started running over there.
So you started, when you say you started running over, let me see. Where you said the fights broke up or
Yes.
show us, can you show us on stage 52?
Start here.
That's where you walked.
That's where I walk.
And where was the fight going towards the right there? Okay. So they were closer to the house when the fight started?
Yes. It was around right here. One guy went this way, this way.
Okay. And you started following the fight to the left,
Yes.
and that was the fight that involved who?
My brother, Tommy Connery, Ryan Hines, and Faison Teal.
And what did you observe about that fight when you were following it?
Well, I ran over there, and then by the time I got there, I didn't do anything. I just stood and watched, and I saw Tommy sort of standing over him as well, but more in it. I saw Ryan like on top of him, and I saw Faison also like more like on top of him, like not on top of him, but like next to him, like fighting.
So is there a path of travel, we'll say, that the fight took when you were observing this? Did it stay in one area or did it constantly move?
It first stayed in one area, but then everyone got off of Raul, and then he walked away, and that fight was over.
Can you show me like where that all happened, to the best of your recollection?
Like happened over here.
Yeah.
Then everyone like got off there. Like all like walked like this way. Around.
Okay. And when you saw that happen, where did you follow?
Yeah, I followed him.
Show me the path that you followed.
I kept the far distance from him the whole entire time. And when he was like over here, I was over here. And he think his way this way, I was over here.
Keep my distance from him, but keep my,
Why did you do that?
because I was aware that he had a knife.
And did you engage in the fight at all?
No.
So what did you observe when you walked? So you did correct me if I'm wrong, you did like a almost like a semicircle.
Yes.
And what did you observe about the defendant as you're doing this semicircle?
I observed when he got out of the fight, some people pushed him to get even more out of the way and get him into the road and get him out of here and like just leave. And I just kept him walking, and I watched him walk towards the car.
Okay. Let me stop you there. This is stage. You witnessed the fight happen somewhere right here.
Yeah.
Just above the initial interaction between this area here between the black truck.
Yeah.
The fight breaks out. Silva comes to get back this way towards where the tree is in stage 52.
Yes.
And the fight between the defendant, Hines, your brother, and Teal somewhere right here.
Yes.
I'm pointing to the area north of the red tree in stage 52 on the left-hand side. So at some point in time, you say the fight, they let go of them,
Yes.
and you kind of follow this area, the semicircle, that makes its way over here, and you see another group pushing out.
I saw like a couple kids like just give him like a little shove to just get him off the top.
Show me where you saw that happen.
Around here, and I wanted to step back.
So to the right-hand side of the photo, Your Honor, near the curve, just south of the red bush. And when you saw that happen, did your attention go anywhere else at that point?
No.
Now, was your eye on the defendant the entire time?
Yes.
Do you know if Jimmy McGrath was involved in the fight? And the fight was going on over here initially with the defendant and your brother, Faison, and Ryan? Was Jimmy McGrath involved? Anything going on right over here?
No.
Do you know where Jimmy McGrath was at this point? And when you came and did the semicircle, at some point in time, did you notice Jimmy McGrath at some point?
When I was going to go around here.
Yeah.
No, I still.
Okay. At what point did you see Jimmy McGrath outside?
Yes.
So when you did the semicircle, you said you kind of walked back to the car.
Yes.
Tell me where you saw him walk back.
Walked back to the car over here.
Okay. And when did
I was following him. I was like at him, and he opens the door, and then he closes it. He goes right back in, and I start
Yelling, he has a knife, he has a knife, he has a knife, because I thought he just went and grabbed it, but unfortunately I was wrong.
And when you yelled that he had a knife, did you see him have a knife on him at that point in time?
No.
What did you observe about the defendant when he came back onto the property?
I saw him next to Tyler Da Silva, and they were both in the road, and no one was going after them. No one was going near them. They were just, everyone was just looking at each other, and then the defendant went after the closest person to him, who was Jimmy McGrath, and stabbed him.
Did you see Jimmy McGrath at this point in time, just prior to the defendant stabbing Jimmy?
I saw him right before it, like hardcore got stabbed.
Did it appear that Jimmy McGrath, was he trying to engage the defendant?
No, he wasn't.
Did it appear did Jimmy have a weapon on him that night?
No, he did not.
Did Jimmy approach the defendant in any manner whatsoever from your perspective?
No, he didn't.
So tell us about what you saw. He comes onto the grass area. When he's on the grass area, do you know where the rest of the people are at this point in time?
Sort of stepping back a little bit from Raul and Tyler Silva, because they've heard that he had a knife, and people were kind of stepping back to where they were, like more towards the middle of the lawn or somewhere around the lawn, not near the road. And the defendant went after the closest person to him, which was Jimmy.
So where was Jimmy standing that you recall?
around here.
Okay, so that's just to the right. It's like on States 52, just upwards and just slightly to the right of where the mailbox was.
Yeah.
There is. So so take us through it. He comes back on the lawn, you scream he's got a knife, and then where's Jimmy's where? When he's on the lawn. The defendant's on the lawn, where's Jimmy?
When the defendant comes back, he's over here. Jimmy's around over here.
Okay.
And everyone's around now, like right here. And then the defendant comes along, and Jimmy's right here.
And tell me what you saw at that point.
I saw the defendant
Go after Jimmy aggressively, and Jimmy was trying to get away, and he stabbed him.
Did you see Jimmy take a step back? What did you see?
I saw Jimmy trying to avoid it.
And what happened?
Didn't.
And where did you see him stab Jimmy McGrath?
Sort of like, from my point of view, it looked like upper stomach range, like lower chest, like right around here.
Okay. So if the record can reflect, Your Honor, he's indicating on his own body just the upper stomach area below the left chest area. And when you saw the defendant stab Jimmy, what, if anything, did you observe or hear next?
I yelled up Jimmy's name twice, saying Jimmy, Jimmy, and he turned around and said, "I've been stabbed." And then the next second, he collapsed to the ground.
And when he collapsed, what, if anything, did you do next?
I froze, and I saw a couple people running towards him, and I just started hearing screams of someone yelling, "I need stitches, I need stitches."
Did you know who that was?
Yes, I turned around and saw my brother on the ground, just like covered in blood.
And where was your brother? If you can use States 52, do you recall where you saw your brother?
right here, and kind of like that.
So your brother was back on the other side of maybe where that tree is?
Yeah.
Yes.
And was there anybody with him at this point in time? Do you recall?
Yes, Will Berardi was with him.
And who was Will Berardi?
He's my cousin.
And when you saw your brother, did you go to your brother at that point?
Yes.
And what did you observe about where was he stabbed? Do you recall?
Above his left leg, above his knee.
Was that the first time you realized that your brother had been stabbed?
Yes.
What was his leg like when you saw that?
Bloody, like multiple wounds.
And after, did you try to help your brother out?
Yeah, I immediately ripped my shirt off and tied it around his leg to form pressure. And then my brother's friends told me to walk away, that they had him, and I wouldn't. And then my brother was looking at me and he said, saying that, "Go help Jimmy, I'll be fine." And then I walked away.
So when your brother said that, did you go and try to help Jimmy?
I walked over there and there was a lot of people around him to the point I wouldn't even make room over there. But I walked over and I saw the condition Jimmy McGrath was in, and I just turned around and walked away.
What did you notice about Jimmy's condition at that point in time?
Very pale, a lot of blood, shorts covered in red.
Did you notice if anybody else was stabbed that night?
When I walked around, I noticed that Brian Hines and Faison Teal were also stabbed.
At some point in time, did somebody call the police?
Yes.
Who called the police?
Will Berardi called the police. I'm aware of that. I'm assuming multiple people also did. I know that Will Berardi did.
And did the police at some point arrive?
Yes.
And did you speak to the police that night?
Yes, I did.
And did you tell them everything you told us here today?
Yes, I did.
Now, can you tell us prior to starting it, whether or not does this video show the entire fight of what happened on May 14th, 2022?
No, it doesn't.
Yes, sir! Come on, let's go, man! Yeah!
So you see this area here of kids that just went over this way to the right?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the period of time where you testified prior to that there were kids pushing the defendant out to the street?
Yes.
And this individual down here, do you recall seeing this individual in the blue on the ground?
No, I don't.
Okay, so your focus is over here.
Yes.
Okay, and do you recall using State 60? Where are you at this point in time?
I'm walking around towards near where people are getting pushed out.
So is this you right here in the black shorts and white shirt?
That could be.
And you're witnessing what's going on?
Yes.
Did you get involved in the fight?
No, I did not.
Do you recall if Jimmy McGrath was involved over here?
No, he wasn't.
And at some point in time, you say this defendant goes back to the
Yes.
now who's this individual coming into the frame right here on the right?
That's me.
And do you recall where Jimmy was at this point in time?
No, I do not.
Do you know who this is with the blue shirt and white pants?
Yes, that's Jimmy.
At that point in time, do you recall seeing Jimmy?
Yes.
And do you recall if he was fighting with anybody?
No, he wasn't.
Okay, good. Now, you see who's that being pushed out to the street?
Tyler De Silva.
Well, you remember seeing that on the night question?
Yes.
Remember the defendant coming back onto the property at that point?
Yes.
Is this the point in time where you testified under earlier that people were just standing there and there was no more?
Yes.
And at this point in time, when the defendant is coming back onto the property, what is happening? Like, you can see part of the video. We don't see what's at some point goes out of view. What do you recall happening at this moment?
People looking at them too, backing up a little bit, and no one fighting, no one like saying words or anything, just looking at each other. Like,
Do you recall what the defendant did when he came back on the property? Did he slip and fall?
no, he went after the closest person to him, which was Jimmy, and with a purpose, and stabbed him.
Do you recall whether or not Matt Lockovich was close to Jimmy at this point in time?
Yes, he was.
Okay. But Jimmy was closer to the defendant?
Yes.
And how close would you say Jimmy was to the defendant just prior to this slide here? Or this is frame 426. How close was Jimmy at this point in time?
5 to 10 feet.
But at that point in time, what are you witnessing here?
I see Jimmy avoiding someone stepping back.
So at frame 535, Jimmy is actually stepping back. Is that the point where you see him get stabbed by the defendant?
3 seconds right after that, yes.
Now, after this happened, you said you spoke to the police how many times?
I saw them twice that night.
Do you remember speaking to them on about 3 weeks later, June 8th? Did you do any type of walkthrough with?
Yeah, I did a walkthrough.
And what do you remember what you told the police with regards to where Jimmy was stabbed?
Like on his body wear?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you recall if you ever told him that he was stabbed in the gut?
I said he was stabbed in the stomach, the upper region of it.
Why would you say that he was stabbed in the stomach?
Just reminding us what it looked like.
So when he's stepping back,
It looked like below his chest, like from just below his chest down, like that's his stomach. So the upper region of that.
okay.
So I told him he got stabbed in the stomach because when it happened, I didn't know how he was going to be.
Now, when the defendant stabs Mr. McGrath, what, if anything, did you observe? Did you observe him pull the knife out of his chest?
I observed his fist like this, and from the light of the house, the light from the car around, I was able to see something shining with his hand like this, shining out of it.
Okay. So he goes up, stabs like this, and then pulls out, and you see it.
Yes.
And then when he pulls the knife out of his chest, what do you see the defendant do next?
Run to the car.
Does he get back to the car?
Yeah.
Do you see him get in the car?
Yes.
Do you see De Silva follow him to the car? What do you see? Do you know what happened to De Silva after that?
I assume he was in the car, but I didn't see him.
You didn't see where he went? Okay. When the defendant got back to the car, by the way, which way was the car facing when it came back? Was it facing towards Adams or towards Farmhouse?
Towards Adams.
And when they got back into the car at that point in time, which way did you see the car leave?
Yeah.
Where did it leave?
Towards Adams.
At that point in time, did you ever see the car after that night?
No, I didn't.
How would you describe the situation both during and after the fight at the house?
After the fight?
Yeah, during and after. Was it chaotic?
Yeah, at first it was like chaotic, and then after it was completely worse than like just people screaming, people trying to stay calm, people trying to give aid to people that were bleeding, and neighbors came and helped, and it was just people running around calling the cops. Ambulance showed up, the cops drove down the wrong road, and I had to run out and chase them to tell them that I was this way because I saw them miss the house and just running around, and then actually had to calm down and stay calm and be calm in that moment and just see what was going on, see everyone, and talk to them, like make sure everyone's just helping. And that was really it.
I can't remember if I asked you this question, but I'm going to ask you. when the defendant was talking to he was talking to Tywood before the fight starts. Is he arguing with Tywood?
Not that I'm aware of. It was they were talking. It was high pitched. I didn't know if they were arguing or they were just talking loud. I mean, they were probably arguing, but I don't know.
Were you not close enough to really hear other than it was loud?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that night, did you see Jimmy McGrath with a knife in his hand at this point in time,
Jimmy with a knife?
or with any type of weapon?
No.
Did you see Tyler DeSilva with a weapon in his hand that night?
No, I did not.
Did any of your friends, did you see any of your friends with any types of weapons in their hands, both before, during, and after the fight?
No one had weapons.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Ms. Smith, I'm assuming you're not going to finish your cross-examination within the next 10, 15 minutes. So if you could just let me know when you find a good place to stop.
Yes, Your Honor.
Going for lunch.
Good afternoon, Mr. Connery.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. We've never met before, correct? Sorry, I'll repeat what the state's attorney told you. You got to keep your voice up because we got to compete with this fan that's coming. And then you've also got to say whatever you're going to answer, whether that's yes, no, or something else. It has to be audible so that the court reporter can record it, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were telling us before about the evening of May 14th of 2022
Yes.
and what you recall, right?
Yes.
And you're testifying here today after you told us you'd met with the state's attorney 2 times?
Yes.
That's it?
That was it.
And you also have viewed the video that we saw here before, Exhibit 60, correct?
Yes.
When was the first time you saw that video?
Probably a week after it happened.
A week after it happened? And how did you see that video the week after?
Someone showed me.
Do you remember who?
No, I do not.
One of your friends?
Yeah.
And when they showed that video to you, did you tell the police about that?
The police already knew.
They already knew at that point? How many times do you think you've seen that video now as you sit here?
10 times.
You told us that you were a 16-year-old junior at Shelton High School on May 14th of 2022, right?
Yes.
And you were a rising senior,
Yes.
and you were playing baseball.
Yes.
Did you play any other sports at Shelton High?
Not that year. That year I only played baseball, but I played football when I was a freshman.
Okay. And most of the kids that were at Tyler Rich's, they were older than you, correct?
Yes.
And they were also members of the football team?
Yes.
Many of them were either seniors or had graduated, right?
Yes.
So you were one of the younger members there. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And Griffin Marcinzik and Ryan Hines were also younger than most of the other folks there, right?
Yes.
And you told us that Ryan Hines was a friend and a baseball teammate of yours,
Yes.
and that Griffin Marcinzik you'd known longer, since childhood, right?
Yes.
Because Ryan Hines didn't come into the Shelton High School system until freshman year of high school,
Yes. Around 8th grade.
8th grade. But you'd become close with him,
Yeah, very close.
close enough that after this fight that he described to you at 5 Lazy Brook, he called you to come and pick him up.
Yes.
And he also told you that he had Griffin Marcinzik with him.
Yes.
And you went to pick them up, you told us, about a half an hour to 45 minutes after you'd gotten to Tyler Rich's house the first time, right?
Yes.
So would that be somewhere between 10:30 and 11 o'clock, do you think, that you went to pick them up?
Around there, yeah.
Because you told us you got to Tyler Rich's house initially between 9:30 and 10, and then you spent about 30 to 45 minutes there.
Yes.
So you think it was somewhere between 10:30 and 11 that you drove to pick them up?
Yes.
How far away was that drive to Natalia Ritzik's house?
8 minutes, 9, 10, depends on red light, green light. It's not that far.
Not that far. And you said when you picked them up, Ryan Hines didn't have anything with him,
But I don't recall if it did.
but you told us that you thought they were drinking, right?
Yeah.
Before you'd picked them up?
Yeah.
Why did you think they were drinking before you picked them up?
Because when I was talking to them on the phone, they said that they had their beer taken from them.
And you told us that on the way to Tyler Rich's house, you talked about what had happened at 5 Lazy Brook, right?
Yes.
And then when you got back, and you were unaware at that point of a group chat that was going on?
No, I had no idea about that.
Did you see either Mr. Hines or Mr. Marcinzik on their phones?
Yeah, they're on their phones.
Did they appear to be excited?
No.
Did they appear to be upset?
Sort of, yeah.
And they weren't, did they tell you that they were in communication with any of the kids that they thought had been involved in the fight at 5 Lazy Brook?
No.
But when you got back to the basement, you said people were at Tyler Rich's house. You said people were already talking about the fight at 5 Lazy Brook.
No, when we got there and I walked in with Ryan and Griffin, they asked and they came up to him and said, "Hey, what happened?"
Just like that? Hey, what happened?
Well, we heard about it. That's why I went and picked them up. Because before I told them that, oh, Ryan and Griffin just got a fight. You guys care if I bring them here? And they're like, oh, we don't care. So when we got there, they're already aware about the fight, so they went and asked.
Okay. And how many people came up to ask about what happened at 5 Lazy Brook?
Around 10 people.
And one of those was Jimmy McGrath?
No.
No, Jimmy McGrath wasn't one of the first people to ask.
But I didn't see Jimmy talk to Ryan Hines.
You didn't see Jimmy McGrath talk to Ryan Hines at all. Had you been at Nikki DeJesus's house earlier that evening with Jimmy McGrath?
No, I wasn't there.
But you saw him in that picture, exhibit number 57?
Yes.
And you know that to be Nikki DeJesus's basement?
Yes.
And you saw Faison Teal there in the basement, correct?
Yes.
You saw your brother there in the basement?
Yes.
Had he been there earlier when you left?
Yeah, he was there before me.
Did you both drive there together to?
No, separately.
And so when you got to Tyler Rich's house, where did you park?
On the side of the road, farther up, if I want the maps, farther up, facing towards, I don't know the coordinates, but towards up his house. If you're driving to his house, it's like up more.
Towards Farmhouse Lane?
Yes, that way.
And you were parked on Laurel Glen facing towards Farmhouse Lane, down further towards Farmhouse Lane.
I was parked facing Adams, but more towards Farmhouse Lane, like up there more.
Okay,
It's like when I got there, I turned around and parked on the right side, facing that.
gotcha. So you drove down towards Farmhouse Lane, turned around, came back a little bit, and now you're parked facing Adams. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And there were other cars parked in the road, right? And there were cars parked in the driveway, right?
Yes.
And so it was a little crowded in the street.
A little bit, yeah.
When you got back to the house, was there anybody at Tyler Rich's house? Was there anybody in the front lawn?
When I got back with Griffin and Ryan, if I picked
Yes.
them up, not that I recall. We went straight to the basement, didn't talk to anyone right down there.
And you told us that you'd had 2 Bud Lights in the basement, right?
Yes.
And that was around 11 o'clock that you got back?
Yes.
And again, you said to the state's attorney that you had not become aware of a group chat that was going on, right?
No, I didn't know about that.
But you did become aware of a car that was parked in the front of 43 Laurel Glen Drive, right?
Yes.
And you said you heard that the car with kids who fought Ryan Hines was there, right?
Yes.
So as you went out through the basement doors, your understanding was that the kids who had gotten into the fight with your friend Ryan Hines were now parked in a car outside the house.
Yes.
And you said you walked outside, right?
Mhm.
Who else was with you when you walked outside?
At that point,
Yes.
I don't recall.
Do you remember anybody being with you?
I remember the party going outside and a lot of people staying in the front lawn and then 10 of us approaching the car. I remember Tyler Richard going approaching the car. Other people too, but I couldn't say who else was with me because I went on the other side of the car on my own. Everyone was on the driver's side. I went to the passenger side.
Okay. So you recall the party emptied out of the basement and went into the front lawn. Some folks you claim stayed on the front lawn.
Yes, most of them stay in the front lawn.
Most of them. And 8 to 10 people, including yourself, walked across the street to where the car was parked.
Yes.
And you told us that you went to talk to the passenger, correct?
Yes.
And that passenger you identified for us, that was the front passenger.
Yes.
And that was Tyler DeSilva, right?
Yes.
And you knew Tyler DeSilva, correct?
Yes.
From having grown up and his cousins?
I was friends with his cousins, and I knew that was one of their cousins. And just so happened a weekend before that, I was at a place in Shellen, and those kids were there, that friend group, and I met him there.
Okay. And you said that you had a pretty peaceful discussion with Tyler DeSilva. I like you. You're a good kid. I know your cousins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did he threaten you in any way?
No,
Was his window down or up?
it was down.
All the way?
Yeah.
And the rear passenger window, was that down?
I don't think so, no.
Did you talk to anybody in the rear passenger side?
No, I didn't.
Could you see anybody inside the vehicle?
Yeah.
Could you identify who was sitting in the rear passenger side?
No, I couldn't.
Could you identify anybody that was sitting in the back seat?
I noticed the defendant was behind the driver's side, and I couldn't. I noticed 2 kids in the middle and next to him behind the passenger, but I didn't know who they were, so I didn't know who. I don't names their face.
Could you tell if there was anybody in the trunk area?
No, I couldn't.
And you told us that among this group of 8 to 10 people was Ricky Fiola?
Going towards the car.
Yes.
No, I didn't see Ricky with me. I saw Tyler Rich go up, maybe Ryan Hines. I don't recall everyone that went there, but I don't remember seeing Ricky over there.
Do you remember seeing Sal Perry there?
At the car? No, yeah, again, no.
Do you remember seeing Michael Samperi at the car?
No,
Do you remember seeing Alex Bernstein at the car?
no,
Do you remember seeing Jacob Villalobos at the car?
no.
Do you remember seeing Matthew Lakovich at
No, it could have been them, but I just don't recall who stayed on the lawn, who didn't.
Do you recall seeing Tanner Chernowski at the car?
I don't know.
Do you know Tanner Chernowski?
Yeah, I know Tanner.
How do you know Tanner Chernowski?
He's my brother's age. He grew up with my brother, played sports with him, and I always knew him just as one of my older brother's friends, and then we became friends eventually.
And you said you didn't notice Mr. Valle doing or saying anything while you were there at the car.
No, I didn't.
And you said that your conversation with Tyler DeSilva lasted about 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
That interaction never became anything other than peaceful, correct?
With me and Tyler Silva?
That's correct.
Yes.
And you said at that point you turned and walked into the driveway by the lawn,
Yes.
and you weren't paying attention to the car at that point. You were just talking to friends, you said.
Yes.
How far away from the car were you at that point when you were just talking to friends?
Across the street, so whatever the street distance is, around there.
Was this a larger than normal street, or was this your typical street?
Typical back road street.
And at this point, you said there are 20 of you in the lawn driveway area and still 10 by the car, right?
Yes.
And then you saw the car leave,
Yes.
and you never saw anybody put their hands on the car.
No, I never saw that.
You never saw anybody kick the car.
No.
You never saw anybody throw anything at the car
Yeah, I saw people do that.
while the car was still sitting there, or
No,
when it
no.
was driving.
I'm back and forth. I saw people do that.
I want to focus on before the car leaves to drive away, okay?
Yes, sir.
You never saw anybody throwing anything at the car at that point?
No.
Never saw anybody throw anything out of the car at that point?
No.
You never saw anybody climb on top of the car at that point?
No.
You never saw the car rocking at that point?
No.
You never heard anything shatter as far as the car goes?
No.
You never saw anybody on the rear of the vehicle bouncing up and down?
No.
But then at some point you saw the car leave, you told us.
Yes.
And you don't recall any altercation that preceded that. It just sped off down the road.
Yes.
And then you told us it came back and forth a few times, right? 3 to 4 times?
Yes.
Again, you stayed in the grassy area at that point, right?
Yes.
And then the car stopped at the intersection of Laurel Glen Drive and Farmhouse Lane.
Yes.
You and I were talking about the car having stopped at the intersection of Laurel Glen Drive and Farmhouse Lane when we left. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
So I want to take us back there, okay? You told us that you observed 2 individuals get out of the car, correct?
Yes.
Only 2 individuals get out of the car?
I'm mistaken. 3 got out of the car.
I'm sorry, 3 got out of the car?
Kenzie Traffic County also got out the car.
And you said that you and a few of your friends walked down the street to talk to them, correct?
Yes.
And that was Ty Wood, correct?
Yes.
Michael Lockovich, Matthew Lockovich,
Yes.
my fault there. Tyler Rich,
Yes.
Ricky Fiola,
Yes.
Ryan Hines?
No.
Faison Teal?
No.
And you said that Tyler Rich and Ricky Fiola were ahead of you, correct?
Yes.
And that you were walking with Ty Woods, right?
Yes.
And you walked all the way down to where the car was parked at the end of, or at the intersection of Laurel Glen Drive and Farmhouse Lane, right?
Yes, it was a little bit before it. A little before. There, where the group was a little before the intersection.
Okay. But you walked down to where the car had come to a stop.
When I got down there, the car drove away or something because it was only them 3 around there.
Okay. So when you got down there, you couldn't see the car?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
So at that point, it was the group of you that had walked down there and just Mackenzie Trafficante, Raul Valle, and Tyler De Silva?
Yes.
Were they all on the same side of the street?
No.
Where was Mackenzie Trafficante?
She was kind of sitting on the curb next to Raul Valle on the side of the street, and then
Okay.
Tyler Silva was on the other side.
On the same side of the street as Tyler Rich's house, or on the opposite side of the street?
Same side.
So Mackenzie Trafficante and Raul Valle were on the opposite side.
Yeah.
Okay. How far away were you from Mr. De Silva?
Almost like not face to face, but like good talking distance. Like
And how far away were you from Mackenzie and Raul?
almost the whole street across. Like not like about 8 feet.
And at this point, you could not see Jack Snyder's vehicle?
No, I don't remember seeing the vehicle.
And you told us that you witnessed Mr. Fiola talking to Mr. Valle,
Yes.
and he was still standing beside Ms. Trafficante at that point?
Yes.
And you said you did not see Tyler Rich interact with Mr. Valle at all, correct?
No, I didn't see it.
You didn't see Mr. Rich spray anything in Mr. Valle's direction?
No, I didn't see that.
And you didn't see anybody except for Mr. Fiola by Mr. Valle?
Yes.
So your recollection is that it was just Mr. Fiola, Mr. Valle, and Ms. Trafficante on one side of the street,
Yes.
and therefore yourself, Ty Wood, Tyler Rich, the 3 of you, and Matthew Lockovich, the 4 of you, were all on the opposite side of the street with Mr. De Silva?
I saw the completely opposite side of the road, but like more towards that side, like not really close to where Fiola was.
And you said that the 3 of you were talking with Mr. De Silva, correct?
Yes.
You didn't see anyone engage in any fighting.
No.
You didn't see anyone chasing Mr. Snyder's vehicle.
No.
You didn't see anyone throwing anything at Mr. Snyder's vehicle.
No.
You didn't hear anyone uttering any threats towards Mr. Snyder or the group.
No, I didn't hear that.
And you think that it was just yourself, Ty Wood, Michael, Tyler Rich, and Ricky Fiola, correct?
Yes.
Just those 5. You said you spent 10 seconds with Mr. De Silva, correct?
Hmm.
Then you turned and you walked back, right?
Yes.
You walked back to 43 Laurel Glen Drive?
Yes.
Did you pass Mr. Rich along the way?
Yes.
Where did you pass Mr. Rich along the way?
Some were walking back with him, but
Who else was walking back with him?
Ty Wood, Ricky Fiola, Matt Lakovich,
Did they pass you at some point?
they caught up to us and then walked with us.
You initially were walking back with Ty Wood and Mr. Lakovich, correct?
Yes.
And then you described all making it back into the basement, right?
Yes.
Was anybody still outside in the yard when you went into the basement?
Yes.
Who was outside in the yard when you went into the basement?
I'm not sure, but people were out there, yeah.
How many people were outside when you went into the basement?
Probably 10.
So then there were 20 people that were down in the basement when you went in there?
Yeah, like 17, 18 people.
You made it all the way into the basement?
Yeah.
Down to the bottom of the stairs?
Yeah.
Where you ran into Taylor Capella talking with Jimmy McGrath?
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
You didn't see them at the bottom of the stairs talking?
I could have, but I walked right by and I went into the basement. I didn't stop at the stairs. I went into the basement and was just talking with friends.
Did you see Jimmy McGrath?
I could have seen him down there. I just don't remember.
You don't remember seeing Jimmy McGrath downstairs, do you?
I don't know. A long time ago. So if I walked downstairs and I saw people, I just didn't know who was where. I wasn't paying attention to where everyone was. Just people were down there.
You didn't see Taylor Capella downstairs, did you?
It could have been down there, but I don't remember seeing her.
You didn't see Matthew Lakovich downstairs, did you?
You also could have been down there, but when I walked downstairs and I was talking to people, I don't remember who was where, who was doing what, who was outside.
Well, you remember talking to someone downstairs?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't remember talking to someone downstairs?
No, I might have, but I don't remember if I talked to someone. I remember who I talked to.
Do you remember talking to someone downstairs?
But to be honest, no.
Did you not make it downstairs?
I did.
You did. You're certain of that?
Yeah.
And then you told us that you heard they were back.
Yes.
You understood that to mean that the vehicle driven by Jack Snyder was back out front, correct?
Yes.
And at this point, you told us that you were by the basement doors slowly creeping up.
Yeah.
What do you mean by slowly creeping up?
Like walking, like I wasn't running out to like where everyone was. I was taking my time there because I didn't think anything was going to happen.
You didn't think anything was going to happen?
We told them to leave multiple times. I thought it was another time we were just leaving and leave.
And as you were slowly creeping up the stairs, how many people went past you?
Creeping up the stairs.
Yes?
I was already out. I got out of the stairs pretty quick, but when I got outside and I saw people, then I started slowly.
I see. So you went quickly up the stairs. How many people passed you on the stairs?
No one really passed me. We were all going the same way.
How many people were with you going the same way on the stairs?
Probably about 5 or 6 people.
Just 5 or 6 people?
Yeah.
The others remained in the basement?
Eventually, they probably followed me.
Well, sir, I don't want you to tell us what probably happened. I want you to tell us what you observed.
Well, I couldn't see behind me, but everyone came outside eventually, so they must have came from behind me.
So eventually everyone was outside?
Yeah.
So there were 30 of you at that point outside.
Yeah, but scattered out, not all together.
And you described to us that you were slowly creeping up and that there were people lined up talking by the bush and the truck, correct? You remember describing that for us?
Yes.
And how many people were there by the bush and the truck?
Around 6 people.
Just 6 people?
Yeah, I remember seeing 4 people that I was friends with, and then Tyler Silva and Raul Valle.
And the 4 people that you recall seeing were Ty Wood,
Yes.
Tyler Rich,
Yes.
Ryan Hines,
Yes.
and who was the 4th person?
I saw Faison over there a little bit, but he was kind of just in front of me, creeping up too. Like the 4th person, I'm not too sure who I saw.
And you told us that they were just face-to-face talking with Tyler De Silva and Raul Valle.
Yes.
So you did not see the car arrive, correct?
No.
You did not see Mr. Valle and Mr. De Silva approach this group, correct?
Yeah.
But by the time you got outside, you claimed that they were already up by the black truck and the red bush.
Yes.
And it was just Mr. Valle and Mr. De Silva that were talking with these other 5, maybe 6 people now, you've told us.
Raul and De Silva were 4 people. 5 and 6 total, including Raul and Tyler.
Okay. So 5 or 6, including Mr. Valle and Mr. De Silva.
Yes.
So only 4 people out there and then the 2 of them.
Yes.
You said that Mr. Valle was to your right.
To my left.
Before you described it as being Mr. Valle was on the right. Was that as we were looking at the exhibit?
Yes. From my point of view, because it's flipped, it was Mr. Valle on the left and Mr. Silva on the right.
And they were side by side.
Yes.
And you didn't see anything in their hands, correct?
No.
But you could see their hands.
No, I couldn't. The 2 were blocking me. There's 4 of them. There's 2. So them 4 are blocking my point of view of them.
The 4 of the thing were blocking your view.
From where their hands are. I can see their faces. I can't see what their bodies.
You could see over top of the heads of the people that were in front of you to see Mr. Valle and Mr. De Silva's head.
Objection mischaracterizes
the response room?
When I saw them two, I was able to see who it was, their faces, but I couldn't see where their hands were. If their hands were down there, people's bodies, I couldn't see their hands. That's what I'm saying.
So were these 4 people that were talking to them in front of you?
Yeah.
And yet you could see Mr. Valle and Mr. De Silva, but not their hands.
Yeah.
And you also told us that you were not close enough to hear what was being said, right?
No.
But you've described this group of 6 people as being right there by the black truck and the red bush.
Yes.
And how far back from them were you?
First 20 feet, but then slowly creeping up.
20 feet away, 4 people in front of you, but you can see the 2 people that are in front of them.
Yes, and then eventually became 15 feet, then 10 feet, and then the fight broke out.
In any event, you told us that it seemed less peaceful than when they were talking before.
Yes.
And you said at this point you were back by the AC unit,
A little bit in front of it.
but that there were garage lights that shined right at them.
Yeah.
You said this conversation that was going on lasted 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And at that point, you told us that Mr. Valle was talking with Ryan Hines and Ty Wood.
Yes.
You couldn't hear what they were saying.
No.
And that Mr. Rich was talking with Tyler De Silva,
Yes.
but you couldn't hear what they were saying.
No.
And then you told us that you saw Mr. Valle make a movement.
Yes, I did.
At this point, had you moved so that you could see around these 4 people that were talking to them?
No, but I was able to see his body jolting because I was creeping up and getting closer and closer.
I see. You could see his body jolting,
Yeah, like a sudden movement.
sudden movement. Did he hit someone?
No, he did not.
Was he saying anything?
I'm not aware of.
He was still behind and to the side of Mr. De Silva?
He wasn't behind him. They were next to each other. But
They were standing side by side.
yes.
They were standing side by side, but facing 2 different groups.
No, the groups were together in the beginning.
And then you did see Mr. Rich punch Mr. Valle, correct?
Yes, sir.
But when you first talked with officers on the 15th, that's not what you told them, right?
Yeah, I didn't tell him that.
You told them on the 15th, that same day, that either Mr. De Silva or Mr. Valle pushed High kids and the fight started, right?
I was wrong.
That was wrong.
What I said was wrong.
Why, at that time, shortly after the incident, did you tell him something that was wrong, but today you're telling us something different?
Because when he jolted, I thought he made contact with someone from Shellen, but he ended up not. And Tyler Rich stepped in and punched him. And I didn't know that at the time when I was talking to the cops.
And do you remember telling officers that same evening that Mr. Valle was getting beat up
Yeah, I said that.
and that everyone was on top of each other?
Yeah.
So after Mr. Valle was punched by Mr. Rich, you couldn't see Mr. Valle anymore, correct?
No, I saw groups separating and people went towards Valet and people went towards De Silva.
Right. And you saw that there were a number of people on top of Mr. Valle, right?
Around 2 to 3 people, because 2 people were on top of him and 1 person was to the side engaging in the fight, not on top of him, standing over him.
Had the people in the basement come out of the basement at this point?
Yeah,
Where were they all?
around, bystanding, just watching.
Just by standing and watching? Did you see anybody with their cameras out?
No, I did not.
Did you see any phones out?
No, I did not.
Did you see anybody with lights in their hands?
No, I did not.
And you ran over to where you told us that Ryan Hines and Faison Teal were fighting to the left, right?
Yes,
That was where Mr. Valle was, correct?
yes,
So that was one of the fights that was going on. Is that fair to say?
yes,
The second or other fight that was going on to your right at that time.
yes,
And that involved Mr. De Silva.
yes.
How many people were fighting with Mr. De Silva?
From my point of view, I ran over to the fight where Raul Valle was because my brother went over there, so I wasn't paying attention towards the Silva fight, but I saw people in the side view. I'm running over there and then assuming that people did.
You see Mr. McGrath at this point?
No, I did not.
Did you see Mr. Lokovich at this point?
No, I did not.
And you say you ran over there, you got there, and you just stood and watched, correct?
Yes,
At that point, your brother Tommy, Ryan Hines, and Faison Teal were on top of or next to Mr. Valle, right?
yes,
Then you told us everyone got off and Mr. Valle walked away, right?
yes,
But you watched the video with us and you would agree that he didn't just get up and walk away, that people were over there involved in some sort of altercation and pushing or shoving him, as you described when watching it, right?
yes. At first, he was able to get up on his own and people weren't approaching him, but when he kept walking towards, more people came in and just pushed him out of the way to just get him away and get him into the road and get him off the property.
Were you one of those people?
No, I wasn't.
Was Jimmy McGrath one of those people?
No, he wasn't.
You said Mr. McGrath was not involved in the fight at all.
He wasn't involved at all.
Because where was he?
One of the people bystanding.
Just by standing over, can you point to us where he was?
Well, at that point, I'm just saying he could have been bystanding. At that point, I didn't know where he was.
You didn't know where he was?
Yeah, I didn't see him over there where people were pushing Raul out.
Did you see where Matthew Lockovich was?
No, I
Did you see where Tyler Rich was?
no, I did not.
Did you see where Ryan Hines and Faison Teal went?
No, I did not.
Did you see where your brother Tommy went?
No, I did not.
What were you watching?
Raul Valle.
That's it?
Yeah, that was it.
And he was by himself?
People went after they pushed him. He was by himself and he walked towards the car, and I was keeping my distance from him, watching him
And where did the people that had just pushed him into the road go?
back around to like pass to where Tyler Silva was. Just they went back, just let him be.
You saw that while you were watching Mr. Valley go to the car?
No, but I found out later. At that time, I didn't know where they went. I just watched Mr. Valle and just kept watching him.
So is it fair to say, sir, that you don't know where those people who had just shoved him out into the road went?
Yeah.
You don't know who those people were?
No.
So you don't know if Mr. McGrath was involved or not?
I didn't see him over there.
You just told us you weren't looking at what happened with that group.
But when they were pushing him out, I was looking over there and I didn't see who was pushing who. Like I just saw a group of people push him out of the way. I don't know who was who.
Who was in that group of people that was pushing him out?
Not to my knowledge, I don't know. Showing people, definitely.
Kids that you've grown up with and known most of your life, if not all your life?
Some of them maybe. Not all of them I've known my whole life.
One of them, your cousin, Will Berardi.
Not one of them wasn't him.
I'm sorry?
I wouldn't say one of them was him.
One of them, your brother, Tommy Connery.
No.
But you are certain, and you're testifying here today, that Mr. McGrath was not involved in any way.
I didn't see him over there.
And you were telling us that you were watching Mr. Valley as he went back to the vehicle, correct?
Yes.
Did you see the vehicle moving?
No.
And you saw him open the door, the interior light go on, close the door, and then you said he goes back into the yard, right?
Yes.
And you didn't see him with a knife?
No, not that moment.
You said he went right after the closest person to him, right?
Yeah.
And that was Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Who else was standing with Mr. McGrath?
Closest person that would be towards Mr. McGrath was Mr. Lockovich.
Who else? Was it just the two of them?
That's the only two I saw.
It's the only two you saw? Was there anybody that you saw on the other side of Mr. Valley?
No.
Did you see Jacob Villalobos?
No, I didn't see him.
Did you see Matthew Samperi?
Sorry, Michael?
Michael Samperi?
No.
Did you see Sal Perry?
No.
Did you see Ryan Hines?
No, I didn't see them.
Did you see Faison Teal?
No, I didn't see him.
Do you recall seeing Mr. Lockovich that evening when Mr. Valley came back onto the lawn, or is that based on what you've seen in the video?
No, I remember seeing him.
You remember seeing Mr. Lockovich then?
Yeah.
Beside Mr. McGrath?
Yeah, near him.
Near him?
Like the closest one to him.
Close enough to touch him and put his hand on his back?
So let's touch Jimmy.
Yes.
Not aware of.
And what did you see Mr. Lockovich do?
He walked away from Raul and Jimmy and like went the other way.
Went the other way?
Yeah, he went towards like Raul came back. He just kind of like walked away and wasn't paying attention to where Raul was. Jimmy. He was just there. He was near. When he was walking by, he was just there.
Did you ever see your brother Tommy Connery fighting with Mr. Valley?
Yes.
When your brother Tommy was fighting with Mr. Valley, where were you?
Next to them, like behind him.
Behind them?
Yeah.
Who else was near you at that time?
Faison and Hines.
That's it?
Yeah.
Where was Ty Wood?
I don't know.
Mr. Connery, isn't it true that you were with a group of people that had shoved Mr. Valley into the street and that were then walking back and forth between a vehicle that we saw in front of the vehicle that he went to?
Yeah, when the people shoved him into the street, I was there, but I wasn't one of the people that shoved him into the street. I was keeping my distance, following him, walking around, and then saw him go to the car.
Can we see exhibit number 60? Can I ask you to watch? You've got the same thing. Your screen as we have on the big screen. Stop. You see the camera has now turned towards the street.
Yes.
Do you know who this individual is with the dark pants, the light shoes, and the white top?
Yes.
Who's that?
Alex Zaborak.
Sorry?
Alex Zaborak.
Alex Dvorak?
Zaborak.
Zaborak. Thank you. And who is he to you?
Oh, he's my brother's friend.
That's your brother's friend. Same grade?
That's my brother, yes.
So he's one of the older kids that's here at the party.
Yes.
And would you play him? Possibly. We just saw Mr. Zaborak go in front of the screen, right?
Correct.
Do you remember him being there at that time?
No.
And so you don't know what he was doing?
No, I didn't know where he was.
Okay. Do you see yourself coming onto the screen at frame 341?
Yes.
And you would agree you're being followed by someone?
Yeah, someone's behind me.
Who is that?
Joey Romano.
Joey
Romano.
Romano?
Yeah.
And who's Joey Romano to you?
Another one of my brother's friends.
Again, one of the older kids. And where was he coming from?
They're the same place that I was coming from.
Do you remember seeing him there that evening?
I bet the whole night.
This time period.
Oh, no.
So you weren't with him.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't walking with him. He was just behind me.
Can we pause it? And do you see a third person who's just come on shirtless with a pair of what appear to be blue camouflage shorts?
Yes.
And do you know that person?
Yes, Matthew Lockovich.
That's Matthew Lockovich. And where was he coming from?
Looks like the same area that we were all coming from.
Same area that you were all coming from together.
It could be.
And do you see in between Mr. Romano and Mr. Lakovich, another figure with a light top on back there.
Yes.
Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Who's that?
It's Jimmy.
This figure here in the middle, sir? That's Jimmy?
Out there looking up to the right. The person in the middle,
Yes.
I can't identify as that. It's not clear enough.
You mentioned, though, Jimmy, right?
Yeah, you see him on the right.
And he's to the right of the frame here?
Yes.
But you don't remember seeing Jimmy over there in that area?
No, I do not.
But that's Jimmy there now.
Yes.
Walking back behind you, Mr. Romano, and Mr. Lakovich.
So it looks like, yeah.
And you're all coming, you would agree, from that area where we just saw Mr. Valle get shoved out into the street?
It'll be all come from there, but I don't remember seeing Jimmy with any engagement over there.
And we and Bill's back just here. There we go. Okay. And do you see in front of Mr. Lakovich another individual with a pair of lighter shorts with maybe some dark black biker shorts popping out and a white shirt?
Yes.
Who that is?
Jacob Villalobos?
That's Jacob Villalobos. And he's shoving Mr. De Silva into the street?
Yes.
And he's now over in that same area where all of you have just come from?
Yeah.
And you still see a couple of other figures behind him, but you can't identify them.
Yeah, I can't identify them.
And can we play again, please? Oh, sorry, keep still. And can we go back 2 seconds? I apologize. More, a little bit more. And right there. Do you see, sir, a figure just in front of what you've identified as Jimmy McGrath?
Yes.
Like light shorts, light shoes, and a shirt with some sort of graphic on the front.
Yes.
You know who that is?
No, I do not.
That's not your brother, Tommy.
No.
You just have no idea who that person is.
Yeah, no.
Where were you looking at this time?
Where our rule was?
I'm sorry?
Rule was?
Where Mr. Valle was?
Yes.
And you say he's just stepped onto the grass.
Yes.
And you claim all those people just dropped back that had just been there?
Yes, because I was screaming.
And they just all immediately went back.
They didn't run back, but they were cautious and started stepping back.
Even the folks that were on the other side?
Yeah.
All of them?
Yeah.
But your focus was on Mr. Valle, but you could see what all these other people
I
were
could
doing.
see out of my view that people were going away, and now I could only see Mr. Valle.
Where was Mr. Lakovich at that point?
Next towards Jimmy.
And where was Mr. Zaborak at that point?
I'm not aware of.
Where was Mr. Romano at that point?
Not aware of.
Where was Mr. Villalobos at that point?
I'm not aware of that.
But you're certain that you saw all these people back up?
Yeah.
Sir, didn't you see these people start to form the same wall they had formed before?
What do you mean by a wall?
Well, you've described before that 4 people were forming a wall and blocking your view at various points.
Yes.
These people didn't just disappear, did they?
No, but they walked backwards, and they walked back, and I was able to see where Mr. Valle was.
So they all just stepped back and gave you a prime view of Mr. Valle and Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
And Mr. Lakovich, where was he at that point?
Stepping back as one of them, but just closer.
Did you just see a hand on Mr. Lakovich's back there, down near his waist?
His right hand.
Can we go back? Sorry, can we go just a little bit more? A little bit more. Do you see what appears to be a hand down on his side?
Yes.
Mr. Lakovich is gone at this point?
He'll be over there, but I didn't see him. I was just looking at Jimmy. I was looking at Raul, and Jimmy was in my sight.
Okay. You're looking at Mr. Valle at that point?
Yes.
There's nobody blocking your view.
No, I was able to see him.
So you don't know whose hand that was.
No, I do not.
And where was Mr. Lakovich?
Backing up.
Where was Mr. Zborak?
Also backing up. I don't know where.
And where was Mr. Romano?
I don't know where he was.
And where was Mr. Villalobos?
I don't know where he was.
And what about that person you couldn't identify before who had on the light shorts and the dark top with the white graphic across it?
I don't know.
And what about Faison?
Don't know where he is.
Did you see Mr. Valle slip at all as he came onto the grass?
No, I did not.
You saw him just go straight at Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Do you remember it being misty or rainy that evening?
No, I do not.
Did you see Mr. Lakovich take a swing at Mr. Valle?
No, I did not.
But you don't know where Mr. Lakovich was or what he was doing at that point?
Yeah, so if I was looking at Mr. Valle, I didn't see anyone go after him. At that point, no one was going after him.
And then you told us that you saw Mr. Valle run to the car, correct?
Yeah.
And nobody followed him.
No one.
Did you see Mr. De Silva at that point?
No, I did not.
You see him here in the road,
Yes.
and you say you could see Mr. McGrath,
Yes.
but you don't recall seeing Mr. De Silva there in the road?
No, I wasn't looking there.
And you don't recall seeing Mr. De Silva at any point thereafter?
No, wasn't looking over there.
You agree, and you told us that it was chaotic during the fight.
Yes.
And you told us that there are things that you told the cops that evening that were wrong about what you had seen. Right?
Yes.
And today you've come in and you've tried to tell us to the best of your ability what you recall.
Yes.
And you think you've seen this video how many times?
I'm 10.
Around 10 times. And your testimony is that Mr. McGrath was just a bystander watching this go on.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Connery. Nothing further.
Charlie, counsel asked you a little bit about where you were standing when you first came out of the house. You were back by the top of the Bilko doors, and you were making your way towards the area where the red tree is in States 52.
Yes.
And that's where you saw the defendant and Mr. De Silva arguing back and forth with Tyler Rich, Ty Wood, Ryan Hines, Faison.
Yes.
And did you just stand there the whole time, or were you actually like kind of walking up like this?
I was walking up slowly.
And when you were walking up, were you able to see their faces? Because when people stand side by side, you can see in between people's heads.
Yes.
And is that how you in fact saw the defendant and De Silva talking to Tyler Rich and the rest of your friends?
Yes.
And you testified on cross that you couldn't see their hands because were their hands above their head?
No, they weren't.
Were they by their side? So if somebody had a weapon or something at that point, you wouldn't be able to see it, right? But in fact, you didn't see the defendant with a weapon at that point, right?
No, I did not.
And at some point, you got did you get closer to where they were talking?
Not that close, but I was getting closer.
Now, how close would you say you got before you saw the punch and the fight started?
A little far from me to you. Around.
Like here? So about say 10 feet. The fight happened, the punch happens, and then what do? Do you get a little closer to see what's going on?
I saw my brother go over there, and then I followed him.
Okay.
And then I just watched.
You just watched. And then at some point, the interaction between Hines, your brother, Faison stops,
Yes.
and he gets up. The defendant gets up.
Yes.
And what does he do?
He walks towards the road, and kids come out and they push him to the road.
So you go over there to see what's going on. At
Yes.
some point in time, defendant, where does he go after he's pushed out into the road?
It's the car.
And you walk away.
With my eye on him, I walked away
So
toward.
as you're walking away, you kind of don't look and you're making your eye on him,
Yes.
your left shoulder.
Yes.
And at some point in time, what do you see?
Go back.
And when he's coming back, you yell.
He has a knife. He has a knife.
And at that point, where's Jimmy in relation to where you are?
And like in front of me.
So it's like, I'm standing over here, the lecturn's there. Is Jimmy like either the lectern?
Yeah.
Okay. And counsel asked if you saw Matt Lockovich in the area. You remember seeing him in the area or?
I remember seeing him near there, but as I started screaming that, he starts backing up. But he was the closest person I saw that I could identify.
And he indicates that there's this wall of people. People starting to surround the defendant when he comes back in?
No.
What are people doing when the defendant comes back in with the knife?
Taking a step back.
So they're backing up. And at some point when they're backing up, what does the defendant do when they're backing up?
Goes after the closest person to him, which is Jimmy.
Did you see anybody go after the defendant right before Jimmy was stabbed?
No.
No further questions.
And he told us that after the initial fight between Mr. Hines, your brother, Mr. Teal, Mr. Valley, those are the only three that you can remember being there with Mr. Valley, that at some point he goes to escape.
Yes. He got people let him go.
People let him go.
He gets up and he walks away. And then a couple people came over and they didn't try to shove him getting back down the ground. They went over and just pushed him out away into the road to get him off the property and out of here.
Well, you just told us he was already heading out to the road.
Yes, he was.
And so people just came over to gently take him by the elbow and walk him out to the street.
No, they pushed him, but when they pushed him, they weren't pushing him for him to fall on the ground. They pushed him to get him out, for him to leave.
Fair to say, sir, you don't know what was in those people's minds when they were pushing him,
Yeah, no, I don't.
but you're describing it as being something less than aggressive,
Yes.
guiding him out to the street.
Yes, to get him out of the fight, to get him out.
And you've been asked a number of questions about your perception of what was going on in that video, correct?
Yes.
Do you remember seeing Tanner Chanowski film that video?
No, I did not.
You didn't see Tanner Chanowski at all?
No.
Objection. This is outside the scope.
I'll send that.
As you saw yourself walking back there on that video, you don't recall anybody being right in front of you with that camera?
No, because I wasn't looking over there. I don't remember Tanner taking a video.
Nothing further.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Do you have any additional witnesses?
No, Your Honor. State does not have any further witnesses. State rests.